Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to part 3 of my stock pot refining series. See, we got some precipitate down on the bottom of that beaker. Everything is just like I left it. Back here is our gold and platinum in solution that we dissolved with aqua regia. I'm going to let that set for a while, and what we're going to do now is concentrate on the palladium in here. We're going to get that filtered out of that solution. I've got a filter set up here inside of my funnel. It's specially fitted to right up the sides of the funnel so that we can capture all of the solids in there. None of it will get past the filter. We get a good seal in here. Sealing up. So now we're going to take our solution up here. Turn my hood. It's going to get noisy. And we're going to pour the solution through this filter now. Here's our precipitate. Going to get this down into the filter now and rinse it out with some cold water. To swap this flask out. It's getting full, so that's another nice thing about using this kind of filter arrangement in this funnel, is you don't have to worry about the material getting past that filter when you swap the flasks out like this. Now what we're going to do is use some cold water to rinse off the material in this filter here. Try to get all the green liquid rinsed out of there best we can. This is all about concentration of values here. And when we had the solution in this beaker with the green liquid in it, we had this amount of palladium dispersed in 2 liters of liquid. Now we've got it concentrated into a filter here, and we can work with it, take it to the next level of concentration. All right, let me get this stir bar out of here, and then we're going to rinse the rest of the yellow material out of this beaker best we can. And we'll be using this beaker. I'm going to put the material right back in here and dissolve it in some aqua regia. So we can concentrate it even further. I'm waiting for this liquid to pull through the funnel. What I'm going to do is reach down in here. We're going to check and see what we got in this solution here that we just filtered. Check with some stannous. And as you can see, very little, if any, reaction. Might be a slight tint of orange there. So we probably got a little bit of traces of platinum group metals in this solution. What I'll do is I'll add it to my stock pot. Now let's test this solution, see if we've got any silver in here. There shouldn't be any. I'm gonna put a little bit of it in a jar here. Then we'll dilute it with some water. And then I'm going to add some hydrochloric acid. Let's see if we get any kind of precipitate here. Shouldn't be any silver in here at all. As you can see, no cloudiness. If there was silver in there, we'd see a cloudy precipitate form. We got nothing. It's crystal clear. Safe to conclude there's no silver in this solution. Here's our precipitate. What I'm going to do now is transfer the filter into the same beaker that we just took it out of. Let's see here. The solution that we drew off in here is going to go in the stock pot. Here's our filter with the palladium precipitate in it. I got a stir bar down in there. We're going to pull this out of the funnel. We're going to drop it down into this beaker. And now what we'll do is get set up to dissolve this up here. Let's move all this stuff out of the way. And I'm going to set our precipitate up on our stir plate. It's got a stir bar already in it. Now we're going to add some hydrochloric acid. Not very much. It's about 250, 300 milliliters of hydrochloric acid. Turn the stir bar on. Get the stirring going. Add a little heat. Let's cover this thing up. I'm going to add small doses of nitric acid now to form aqua regia in here. We're going to redissolve the precipitate and concentrate it even further.
This is time-lapse footage. You can see the piece of filter paper beginning to disintegrate and the precipitate going into solution.
Get all that stuff down into the acid and get everything dissolved. This kind of stuff just loves to run away on you when you add the nitric. So I'm going to put about just 1 milliliter in. Real slow here. But this stuff has taken off on me in the past. When I put the nitric in, I can see small chips of undissolved material down here, and that's stuff that will react with the nitric when we add it. So now we're just going to let this keep going until I don't see any more solids down here in our solution.
In this footage you can see the piece of filter paper completely disintegrating in the hot acid, and we'll filter that out in a later step.
went into solution fairly well there. We're going to cut the heat off, turn off the stir bar. I'll let this cool down, and then we're going to filter it, get the junk out of there. I took this down off the heat, and I rinsed the sides down with some water. What I'm going to do, I changed my mind here. I think what I'm going to do, I take the lid off, and I'm going to turn the stir bar on again. We're going to put some low heat on this. We're going to let this evaporate down and concentrate so that we've got a concentrated solution to do the precipitation with some zinc metal. We've got the solution reduced down to about 100 milliliters. Let's take it off the heat, off the stir plate. We'll let it cool down, and then we'll filter it and precipitate with some zinc. Here we go. The solution's been evaporated down. It's been allowed to cool. I'm going to move my little heating pad out of the way here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get set up and filter this solution out of our beaker. We went to trouble to concentrate this solution, so we want to keep it concentrated. We don't want to add a bunch of additional solution there. I got the stir bar out of the way. I'm going to pour it through this little funnel here. It's got a little paper filter in it. It's got a fleeker and a little plastic funnel with the bottom cut off. I'm just going to pour this through this filter now and filter out all the solids. And then once we get this filtered out, we'll add some zinc to it and precipitate out the black PGM powdered metal. Got everything in this filter now, and what we'll do is we'll just use a slight amount of distilled water to rinse the material out of the filter there. I don't want to disturb the concentration of the liquid. I want to keep it highly concentrated for the next step. Got the material filtered. What we'll do now is we're going to transfer our solution to a beaker. And we're going to add pieces. This will go in my paper storage. We're going to add pieces of zinc to our solution here, and we'll cement the precious metals out of this solution onto the zinc. Here we go. This is some strips of zinc that I've cut up, pure zinc. I'm just going to drop one in. Should react fairly vigorously there, because there's a whole bunch of acid in there. As this reaction progresses, the solution will turn from a burgundy color to a green color as the metals come out of the solution and the zinc goes into solution. Just add a few pieces of zinc here, and what's happening in here is the zinc is trading places with the palladium in this solution. The palladium is coming out of solution as a black powder, and the zinc is going into solution.
In previous videos, I was asked why I don't use copper for this cementation process, and the answer is copper is lower in the list and therefore less reactive than zinc. zinc being higher in the list and more reactive will cement the palladium out of that solution much faster than copper will.
This has been cementing now for about a half an hour. You can see here the black PGMs are down at the bottom. And what we'll do is we'll wait a little while for the rest of the zinc to go into solution. And then we'll rinse this real good with some dilute hydrochloric acid to get any residual zinc out of there. And go from there. Looking pretty good.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this will conclude part 3